Hello everybody, this is Dr. Keith and welcome to The Practice Heals. Before I even begin to talk about the podcast and how it's going to be an amazing part of your transformation, I want to address the importance of the podcast as far as how we learn. You know, everybody learns in different ways. Some people learn just mainly visual. Some people are very big in terms of auditory. Some people are very touch or tactile orientated. And it's so important that when we are opening up to embrace such a transformative teaching like the practice, that we allow access to the information and we allow you to access the information in the way that truly penetrates your being and brings about the most transformational change possible. So that's why throughout this entire curriculum, I'm going to encourage that you engage in all the types of the practice. I'd love for you to read the book so that you get that visual experience and use the language of input through your eyes. We're going to be doing the podcast, which I will then give you an auditory reading of the book, kind of the author's cut, where we'll do literally a reading of the entire book, cover to cover, as well as really key points that need to be explained personally to you. We also then have this core learning management system through our site, The Practice Heals, where you will go through PowerPoint presentations and watch videos of classes that I've done on every chapter. And then we have the interactive portion of this, which will be the webinars, and that's where you get to join in and have conversation, dialogue with other people that are living the practice and healing from it, and we get to share experiences, and we get to grow from each other and heal from each other and truly realize the unifying experience that we're having with all others who are living the way that we live and experiencing life the way that we do. So it's a multi-level, multifaceted experience for a reason. And I ask you to really step out of your comfort zone and into your comfort zone. And what I mean by that is, do what you know really works for you and what you've really developed and facilitated as your major way to get information into your system. But this gives you an amazing opportunity to embrace other ways that maybe haven't been as well developed and begin developing them as well so that you become a life form that is able to bring in truth, wisdom, and love in any form that life is giving it to you and allow it to bring the most amazing, transformational, miraculous change that it is possible of bringing into your form at this time. So just wanted everyone to really get that under their belt and realize the reasoning behind how this was created, why it was created this way, and just to embrace all the different elements of it so that you get the full benefit of it. So I'd like to give you a brief explanation of the format of the podcast so that you understand the methodology behind how I'm approaching it, and we can all be on the same page, no pun intended, as I do the auditory read for you, and we go through the book cover to cover. And not only do I read the book in my voice, in my energy, with my presence, but there's also going to be critical points within the reading that I know from teaching this work for so many years that as a student, you just may need some different explanation, or I may feel it's just appropriate to add some additional color, story, just fun and entertainment into the process to really help it enter into your system and to give you a fuller appreciation and benefit from it. So just know that we're going to be reading it and we're going to be going through it, and this gives you the chance to have that experience on an auditory level, gives you the chance to take it with you, to listen to it in the car, on a plane, anytime at all, and it gives it that greater level of accessibility because you can do it while you're doing something else with your eyes, which is just the way life is, and it's a beautiful thing to do. So as well, you get to hear me read it, and you get to understand fully that this work is an inspired work, and that I literally stood in front of people having no idea what I was going to say because I was called by life to do so. And I did that for a series of weeks after weeks, and after 12 weeks of speaking and recording and transcribing, it was clear that every week was a different chapter, and I had been called to speak a book, and the book is called The Practice. It's also cool that as you read the book and listen to the book, that even after editing, 85 to 90% of the book is exactly as it was in the spoken word. So it was only changed in a way to format it for a book format, but the essence, meaning, and critical nature of all the words that were spoken for reasons that no one ever knew at the time but have proven themselves to be nothing less than divine and miraculous over the time the book has even been in existence, have been and will always be, held in their space of truth and authenticity. The beauty of how this book was captured is it was captured in the moment, it was recorded in the moment, and again, that is why I am the creator and the person who was asked to bring this in. I feel very strongly that the way things come in have a reason and a purpose, and I don't believe in manipulating them to conform or to fit into any sociological norm. I believe that true transformational work comes into this world to bring transformational change. It comes into this world to bring what's coming. It doesn't come into this world to fit into what's here. So I'm just letting you know that this is going to shake certain parts of you. It's going to resonate deeply with some of the parts of you, and it's going to shake loose some stuff in other parts that really isn't going with you as you go into your next form in the future of your reality. So just know that ahead of time, and know that that's just a part of living this practice. We're here to move into something new and let something old die. And enlightenment never, ever includes just one of those. To become something new and enlightened, you have to let something that was ignorant go. And so this process of living the practice and allowing this practice to heal you, it's always going to include that. It's always going to be a part of it, and you're going to get really good at coming into new life and letting go of old life. And I'm here to teach you and be here for you and help you understand that that's not only normal, but it's the beginning of you awakening to the eternal life that you're actually living now. And as you fully awaken to that, you become aware that you are truly coming from heaven on earth. You are truly the immortal energy of force, source, and order bringing you into form. And you are experiencing that reality on every level in all its perfect, eminent beauty, whether you realize it or not. And so the amazing, simple goal of the practice is to just help you see that in your day-to-day life and help you be aware of that and just be so grateful for that in all the ordinary moments, which are really not ordinary, they're extraordinary. And that's the beautiful thing the practice does, is it changes what you thought was ordinary into something extraordinary. So let's get into the book itself. And I'm going to start by turning the book to the back side. And those of you who have a copy, you know this. Those of you who don't, when you get a copy, you will. In the back of the copy, it says, "One day I said." And there's some words written here, and I'm going to go ahead and read those to you, and then I'll give you the story behind them. "God, I've learned so much from my patience, my prayer, and my study that I want to write a book about you. Don't write a book about me, Keith. Too many of them already," God said. "Write a book about life instead. People don't connect with me in their ordinary, everyday lives. They think I'm somehow outside of their lives. They don't get that I am life, Keith. It has to be a different kind of book," I said. God said, "I know, Keith. Show people how to practice living fully and loving their lives unconditionally. That's how they'll honor me the most and begin to see my undeniable presence in their lives. I'll help you." You know, it's so interesting to be able to look back on this experience of being this created life form that was chosen to bring this work into the world and share. And it happened through my day-to-day practice with my patients. You know, you get to a certain point where you've been a part of so many miracles happening and seen so many lives changed in ways that are just nothing less than divinity in action. And you start to wonder, well, you know, what would happen if someday my form was no longer meant to be here, and all of these experiences and all the wisdom and love and truth that were brought to consciousness through them weren't given to everyone. And you realize that it's such a gift, that this constant awareness of enlightenment and divinity is such a gift that it's meant to be shared. And really it's a creative right, that we have a right to know how creation works, and it's right in front of us, but we have a right to know the truth of how it works and how to live in a way that aligns with that creative order and allows its true magnificence and brilliance to be undeniable. And in that place of undeniability, your experience with God, which to me is the force and source of all reality and creation, it allows its existence to be not something that is faith-based. It allows it to be something that is undeniably known, not just to your spirit, but to your mind and your body. So we're going to move from the back of the book, and we're going to move into the foreword of the book, the preface, and we're going to begin with moving through that, and then we will move into an explanation of some of the things that I talk about. I want to introduce you to an inspired work that will take you on a journey into oneness with all of life, all that has ever been, all that will ever be. Ceremonies of introduction are traditional, but the ceremony I propose here is simple. Take the practice into your hands and begin to live life more fully and joyfully than you ever have before. You know, it's so funny that people will come to me and I'll say, have you read the book? And they'll say, oh yeah, I've read the practice. And I'll know by the way they live their life that all they did was read it. You know, step 1 is reading the practice. But step 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on and on and on is living the practice. The practice is literally that which you live. It is a practice of living. So this is such a beautiful way of saying, you know, yeah, you take it into your hands, you take it into your heart, you take it into your mind, and you begin living it. And it is only through really living it that you realize how amazing a gift it really is. It's not something that you just experience in your head. It's not supposed to just make sense. It's literally supposed to make divinity appear within you and all around you. It's that powerful. The practice is a series of inspired spiritual teachings that show your infinite soul how to live eternally. It's a simple book that everyone can learn from if you are ready or desire to be ready to grow in consciousness. If you still feel resistant to growing in consciousness, the practice will help you remove that resistance. As you experience life in a way that brings deep, prolonged states of peace, love, acceptance, and compassion, your resistance will ebb away and you will discover the freedom of telling the truth and the joy that comes from balancing your body, mind, and spirit. The beautiful thing about this work, everybody, is as you live it, you literally heal. Living the practice heals. And it doesn't only heal that which is living it, it heals that which is living around it, which is so cool because it isn't through the spoken word only that you bring about change. It is literally through living the practice that healing happens. The practice reminds you of universal truths, especially about your primary relationship with life. As you practice living intuitively, the energy of ego then surrenders into oneness with all of life. All of your choices dissolve into choiceless surrender. More and more you focus on choosing moment by moment what is in the highest good, practicing love, acceptance, peace, and compassion. You will strengthen your relationship with life as you become aware of the incredible order of life and the divinity behind it. I welcome those with a heart open to love and a mind willing to change to join me on this journey into the practice. I love life with all I am, Keith. This is the end of our first podcast. I look forward to our next podcast where we will enter into the first chapter of the practice. Let's begin. Until then, blessings.